This is why leaving the narcissist who betrays you will make you feel terrible before it gets better. Let's assume you have high hopes for your own speedy progress after leaving a narcissist. You are setting yourself up for a lot of sorrow and disappointment if, after leaving the narcissist or after going no contact, you allow yourself to remain unaffected by what happened in the past. Why? Here's why, the 5 reasons we will reveal in today's episode. You experience emotion. Leaving the narcissist made things worse, and it took a while to improve. Anyway, if this video piques your curiosity, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to follow this channel and never miss a new upload. Let's begin. First, your head has been injured traumatically. Narcissistic abuse alters how your brain functions, so what may seem like an exaggeration is actually quite accurate. This is one possible interpretation. You must always be on guard when you're with a narcissist. 24/7 indeed, you have managed to stay alive so far. You're constantly scheming up new strategies to keep yourself alive. You had a battle planned at one point. You would be escaping the previous situation. Normally, you'd be paralyzed by the extreme fear of the circumstance and unable to act. Maintaining your own viability is always a primary concern. Narcissist abuse can happen at any time. You don't know where you stand with this person. You have no idea where you stand in your relationship. How near they are to you or how close you are to them is unknown, because they could go from nice guy to villainous at any moment. When 2 people enter into a romantic partnership, neither of them knows the other for sure. Say that's the sort of difficulty you're in. You'll be dealing with it for a long time, months, years, even every hour. If that's how you conduct your life, of course, you'll be impacted. There's no way your neurological system could survive this. Can you imagine trying to accomplish your work without this? On the other hand, how could you possibly get healthier and feel normal this way? Your brain, neurological system, and biochemistry will undergo immediate and profound changes due to the narcissistic abuse you suffered. As a human, you adapt your method of operation, resulting in mental and emotional shifts. Indeed, you constitute the entirety of the group. Adapted, and all you're left with are many coping mechanisms that need time to mend. The amygdala had to expand or contract in size, depending on the demands placed on the brain. The hippocampal volume had to adapt. Your entire prefrontal brain had to enlarge as a result of this process of adaptation, so that you have a fighting chance of survival. If that hadn't transpired, you would not have been able to weather the storm. Thus, it was essential. And now here you are, having to deal with the after effects of all those adjustments and transformations. Realize and accept that this will take some time for your brain, nervous system, and body to adjust. Things need time to heal and improve before they can change. Even yet, it is not a simple task. Second, you have developed undesirable habits that you just can't seem to shake. Your relationship with a narcissist causes you to be harsh on yourself. Some folks try to make you believe that you are by telling you false information. This is the root reason for the narcissist's destructive behavior. You start harming yourself by engaging in destructive behaviors like binge eating, smoking, or excessive drinking. Putting too much time into sexual activity. Just about anything may take place here. These routines serve to numb the internal anguish and prevent you from breaking free. They're vital to your survival, but they also end up shaping who you are. It will be difficult to get rid of them in this manner if and when you decide to quit the connection. You'll need some time and resources for this. Alternate strategies for handling the situation would be required. The nervous system maintains harmony so that you can process the information. The agony of having to surrender control over something you still own, that means you presumably are. Restart your kindness meter if any of these occur. Issues may arise if you indulge in such harmful routines or are prone to such addictions. It could be bad for you. But everything is okay and normal for the time being. Don't worry about why this complicates matters. You just need to know it does. It had to happen that way, but you'll become better as long as you keep trying. Third, you can't let the past remain the past. You're making it difficult on yourself, and you're frustrated with yourself for making things so difficult when you finally get the truth about what went down. This seems really important to you right now. You've been frustrated and angry with yourself. You regret that you weren't able to see it sooner and depart. You think you're such an idiot than everyone else is. Stuck in a rut of self-resentment. When you're the one who gets burned and not them, it's hard to resist feeling responsible. There are many complex factors at play in a narcissistic relationship. Previously unknown information has been known to you. Back then, you didn't know as much as you do today. So, obviously, I had a hard time with that. If you would ever consider going, the same can be said about you. When your traumatic experiences became connected, so were you. So many things that don't make sense. Cognitive dissonance is the inability to think clearly due to the conflicting information the two ideas provide. Characteristics of a narcissist's various personalities. There is a good and angelic side and a terrifying dark side. It's impossible to tell which one is genuine. That explains why you were immobilized. That's the information you'll need to make progress. To release all control, in addition, release your resentment. There's really only one thing that needs your attention. This is self-compassion in action. There was a lot of it. Fourth, very intricate illness or reaction to traumatic stress. Victims of narcissistic abuse are inclined to participate. The usual and atypical symptoms of complicated PTSD. You exhibit both typical and unusual symptoms, such as cognitive dissonance and trauma bonding, in addition to chronic self-doubt, hypervigilance, heightened startle, emotional dysregulation, and thoughts of suicide. You've taken a lot of blows in life. Let's face narcissism together, issues and all. Severe emotional distress or physical abuse, or a profound sense of loss since you know you can't. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder would be the diagnosis if your symptoms didn't fade away, if you kept thinking about what happened, or if you couldn't sleep. As a result, you obviously needed to devise a convoluted strategy for coping with PTSD. There is obviously a good reason for how things are. Complex trauma is what's meant when describing PTSD with all its layers of complexity. That calls for a lot of rest and recovery, above all else. It means there is no way to eliminate the problem. This is how time will go by. That's a tough one. There's a lot of inner labor involved. You just have to accept it. You have figured out healthy ways to cope with your feelings of sadness. In order to move past your sadness, you must allow yourself to feel it. Remembering the past requires you to dwell on it. For your own enlightenment, identify what occurred to you and make peace with it. 5. Confusing flashbacks. And this is also one of the most difficult tasks. Toxic shame, chronic guilt, and internal criticism are all symptoms of narcissistic abuse trauma. A worsening condition over time, they manifest as flashbacks. If you've ever had a flashback, you know the feeling of getting carried away by it. You're judging yourself and beating yourself up for perceived shortcomings, comparing yourself unfavorably to others, projecting negative outcomes into the future, exaggerating problems, etc. When you let yourself go, it's as if it happens without your permission. Recognize that you are experiencing a flashback and accept that you have no control over them. They just show up and leave whenever they want to. Something in your surroundings may trigger a memory of that person or event in your past. A torrent of memories is washing over you, and it's as if you're right back in that moment again. The hallmark symptoms of trauma, then, are those that persist over time and those you shouldn't expect to resolve quickly. Things move slowly. You need to be patient. I know I keep saying this, but just keep in mind that what you need to heal is time, patience, compassion, and much support. This concluded the video for today. I really hope this was of some use to you. Leave a comment with your question or suggestion, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Have a nice day.